The weaponized House Oversight Committee seeking the Trump tax returns is nothing more than a partisan attack on Donald Trump, just like impeachment. And these constant attacks against the president are becoming more vitriolic and more incoherent by the day. Joining me now from Western Virginia from the Media Research Center, Director of MRC-TV, Eric Scheiner. Eric, for example, Al Green, not the singer, the nutcase from Texas. Al Green really could do Texas a favor by resigning today, maybe even yesterday. That would be a wonderful thing. He could also do himself a favor by seeking professional help, because clearly he has Trump derangement syndrome, and I think it could be a potentially fatal case.
Well, he's had this for a while. You know, you mentioned Al Green, the singer. He had range. Representative Al Green hits one note over and over and over again, and it's the impeachment note. Yep. He's been hitting this since 2017. Since May of 2017, he gave his first House floor speech on why Donald Trump needs to be impeached. That's all he does on his webpage. He has a page dedicated to all his efforts on impeachment, the House resolutions he's put forth on impeachment. And now he's saying that Donald Trump cares more about Putin and Russian security than he cares about America's security, that Donald Trump says bad things about women. Does he give any evidence in his recent House floor rant last week? No, of course not. But, you know, the whole impeachment inquiry doesn't need a whole lot of evidence to keep moving forward. All they need to know is that someone heard a phone call and was told about that by somebody else, and their general impression of things from what other people tell them about phone calls. That's all the evidence they need to move forward with it.
Yeah. It's impeachment by hearsay, largely, and the little evidence they do have tends to exonerate the President of the United States, but of course they don't want to highlight any of that. Speaking of derangement, we have the Washington Post, I believe it is, who, now I guess compared to Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, Barack Obama, the 44th president, could be looking a little bit conservative, but not by my standards. Apparently by the Washington Post standards, Barack Obama is conservative, not mine.
Yeah, you may have spit your coffee up on yourself on Sunday morning if you saw the Washington Post. They had their Outlook headline, Barack Obama, conservative, and they have assistant editor David Swerdlick. He writes this article kind of starting off what you talked about. If you look at the current crop of Democrats, you know, Barack Obama does seem not as far to the left, but no one would paint him as a conservative. This makes some really outlandish arguments like, you know, he tried constantly to reach for consensus with Republicans. Yeah, that's why there were so many executive orders on things like immigration and gun control. That's how we got DACA, you know, through all this great consensus, like on Obamacare. Oh, and of course, you know, the writer points out that Obamacare is based off, you know, Mitt Romney's idea. Who would call Mitt Romney a conservative? Exactly.
Same thing. Now, Obamacare was rammed down our throats last I was alive to see it. You were alive to see it. We had to pass the bill to find out what was in it, blah, 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 blah. No, there's nothing conservative, nothing bipartisan about Obamacare exploding our health care system. Now, one more thing. In Virginia, the Old Dominion state is unfortunately turning dark shades of blue. I mean, it's just happening, and it's largely because of Washington, D.C., and people who work in D.C. moving into Virginia and turning the state blue. So effectively, what some folks in Virginia are doing now, they're doing to the Second Amendment what California has done to illegal aliens. They're creating sanctuaries.
Yeah, that's right. Sanctuary cities, except these are sanctuary Second Amendment cities. And they're saying we're going to protect our citizens' gun rights. There's 7 counties. Most of these are in the southern part of the state of Virginia, not the northern part, closer to D.C., like you mentioned. 4 other counties are currently looking at these measures. But these counties have gotten together, sometimes with their sheriff's department, and saying, you know what? We uphold the Constitution. We're going to uphold the Second Amendment. And some of these bills, these legislators, Senate Bill 16 here in the state of Virginia, you know, is a confiscation bill, essentially. It would outlaw certain guns, not grandfather anybody that owns guns such as the AR-15 to be exempt from this. And it would say, hey, if you don't turn your gun over, you know, you will face penalties. So basically, they're sending a message down to Richmond saying, you know what? Not everyone's going to work to enforce these. We hope you realize not everybody's like the Northern Virginia, and we don't really like these gun control bills.
Understood. It's a sad sign of the times that there has to be a sanctuary for anything in this republic, especially a crucial element of the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment. Eric, thanks.